Hey guys, in this video we're going to be talking about some great lens options for Sony for video. I think the first question is, what makes a good video lens for any brand? And the first and biggest answer seems to me to be a constant aperture. This way you don't have to adjust your exposure when you zoom and so forth and so on. Arguably primes solve for this, but we're going to spend most of our attention in this video on zooms. Under other conditions we'd be talking about manual focus, but Sony's focus by a wire makes manual focus impossible for all intents and purposes. So it very quickly follows that we can weed out the best options, if you will, down to, for aps-c E-mount, down to the 16-50, the kit lens, the 10-18, the 18-105, the 16-70, and I'm gonna also input here the 30 f1.4 from Sigma and the 50 f1.8 OSS from Sony. So while we are balancing this more heavily towards zooms, we are keeping a few primes in here because I'm at least rather partial for selective depth of field. With a lot of these lenses, not all of them, but with some of them, you'll, especially like the 18-105, the 30, the 50, you'll be able to spend more money because they're cheaper at any rate, you'll be able to spend more money on like lighting solutions or audio solutions. And with those, you'll be able to make up for the f4 in most conditions. And that's really the key. Video isn't all about the camera and the lens. It's also about lighting and audio design, telling a story. You know, there's a saying that you should spend as much on audio as you do on the imaging part of your video system. You know, I've done a very poor job of exemplifying that, but I mostly take pictures anyway. Smash that like button for the honesty. Let's go through each of these options pretty quick. The 16-50 is a great kit lens. Everybody's got a kit lens, you know, and Sony's manages to be better than its Canon, if not Fuji counterpart. So this is a lens worth holding on to. At the very least, to have a body cap lens just to have on there when you are pulling the camera out, so you can definitely nail the shot when you need to. Let's get past this one for now. We'll get back to it. You're probably not here for the kit lens options, so let's get onto those. The 16-70 f4 from Zeiss is basically the same thing as Canon's 24-105 in terms of focal range. It's actually sharper than Canon's 24-105 on a crop body, which is fantastic. So while some will bash its sharpness, it is actually sharper on a crop body and on a 24 megapixel sensor than Canon's option. That focal range is something of a legend. Most of what Kai and Locke filmed on for DRTV was filmed on a 24-105 f4 LIS USM. So the 16-70 f4 with OSS is a great option, and that's in a lot of ways, in my opinion, where you should start with for run and gun. The 18-105 at one of the cheaper options on the table is equivalent to about 28-150 or so, give or take a couple on both ends. While you're losing some on the wide end, you're gaining more on the tele end. Perhaps more important though, despite its greater weight than the 16-70, everything is internal, and you do have a zoom rocker so that you can get great performance on something like a gimbal. The 10-18, with remarkably little distortion, is best used for getting establishing shots and for use on gimbals. Its equivalence to 15-28 or so, just about that same range as a very standard typical 16-35, is a great addition to any kit. What I've left off so far is clear zoom options. So you can zoom in 2 times with clear zoom and retain most of your image quality. So on a 16-70, that turns that 70 into a 140, and in terms of equivalence, that 140 is a 210. With clear zoom, the 18-105 goes from 18 to 210, and in terms of equivalence, that 210 is actually like 315. Your 10-18 turns into a 15-36, and with equivalence, turns into a 30-54 with clear zoom. So you can get a lot of extra range out of all of these lenses. Primes aren't necessary, and all the zooms discussed here already can do the trick on their own. However, lenses like the 30 f1.4 that I'm actually using right now, and have used actually for the majority of my videos, are extremely versatile. A 50 would be great for something like a talking head or an interview or corporate work, for that selective depth of field as well. Both of these lenses will give great autofocus performance with face detect, good selective depth of field, making these both great lenses for your A camera for interviews, for weddings, for events, for talking head, for corporate shoots. Myself, I love objective specifications. What these objective specifications show us is that the 30 is the sharpest. Question, how snobby are you about the difference between primes and zooms and sharpness and objective measures like that? These objective specifications also put the 16-70, 18-105 frustratingly on par. Of course, the 18-105 distinguishes itself with its all-internal focusing and zoom, with its heavier weight and bigger size, but also lower price point. That'll be a hard choice between those two, but it's one that I think is worth going into because both are good. So are the 10-18 and the 50. The funny thing is though, the rub is though that the 16-50 gets you most of the way with all of these zooms, except for the 10-18. I've left manual focus options, cheaper manual focus options off the table because my perspective on Sony aps-c cameras is that I want to take advantage of all of the fantastic autofocus performance that they have at their disposal. It makes sense in my mind to capitalize on that excellent autofocus performance. Really what it comes down to is what you need, what sizes, what weights, what focal lengths, what apertures. My first recommendation is to establish a budget and stick to it. Second, that 10-18 and 18-105 all at f4 makes a fantastic combination. However, the 16-70 would be my personal choice for an all-in-one with its lesser size and nearly equivalent resolving ability. However, my current setup is actually a 16-50 with the 30 f1.4. Smash that like button for the honesty. You can make some damn fine videos with all of them for sure. What it comes down to is getting out and making the videos. With whatever lens you got, it doesn't matter as much what lens and camera you have, as much as it matters that you get out and do it. The differences between the 16-50, the 16-70, the 18-105, all those differences probably wouldn't be noticed by the viewer. And after all, you're making it for the viewer, whatever the video is that you're making. Thank you very much for your time and for your attention. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Question, how important is the aperture of the lens for you in comparison to options like lighting and audio when you're trying to spend money on being able to make a kit for video?